Good afternoon, Ian. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? It's fight week.
Yeah. So, obviously you're coming off of, that huge fight against Shavkat. Now you're facing Carlos Prates. You had a fight booked against Buckley. That obviously didn't work out. But, you've taken these fights against like the four biggest killers like consecutively over the past 4 or 5 months now. First off, just what do you think that says about you? And secondly, how does Carlos stack up against the rest of them?
That just speaks to the character and the person I am. I'm born and bred in Dublin, Ireland. We're called the Fighting Irish for a reason. And I'm just out here putting that on display for the world to see. When you call me and you say, hey, Ian, do you want to fight? There's only one answer. It's only yes. It doesn't matter to me if it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks. It's yes. And I'll do everything I can to make it possible and make that happen. And I love to fight. There's nothing more I love in this world than fighting. And I'm living my dream right now, fighting the best guys in the world. I have taken, on short notice, the toughest opponents in the world and the biggest killers in the division. And when I become the champion, I will still maintain that because that is the champion mentality. It doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter when. I want to prove I'm the best against everyone. And I think Carlos is up there. I don't think, when you look at my previous opponents, I don't think he's as awkward as MVP. I don't think he's as fast as MVP. I don't think he's as well-rounded as Shavkat. And I think he's obviously just the awkwardness of it because I'm long and tall. He doesn't have the stylistic irritation that Jeff Neal does. So for me, this is a guy who I can go out there and put on full display that I am just levels and levels above him. And I'm excited to do it.
And, I know that you guys had a little bit of back and forth on social media. You put out a video essentially calling him a quitter because of a previous fight, and then he responded with a video of his own. Do you feel like, is this fight personal to you at all, or is this just pre-fight hype?
No, I like to do my job and watch my opponents and watch their fights, and I analyze, I start to read. Look, his team is called the Fighting Nerds. They do the same thing, but they've never seen a fight where I quit mid-fight. So when I seen that, right, he put his hand in the air, he waved at the ref and said, I'm done. I have never seen that in MMA. Now, we're talking about this guy being one of the baddest men in the division, 10-fight knockouts. Well, let's show the true Carlos Prates as well. When the going gets tough, he quits. And on Saturday night, I'm going to put him in that position where he has to make a choice, and I want him to quit.
He made some comments about, because you both have fought Neil Magny, how he's on a 4-fight knockout streak where a lot of your fights have gone to decision lately. What do you attribute that to?
Neil Magny's soul is in my back pocket as we speak right now. He has never been the same since I fought him. So good job. You did a good job against a guy you're better than. Congratulations. I'm not Neil Magny. And if you watch the fight against Neil Magny, you know I can do just the same things you did, if not better. I'm faster. I'm more talented. I'm more technical than this guy is. This guy's a one-trick pony. He's got a left hand, he's got a left knee, and he's got a left leg. They're all on one side. I've got everything I need. I can beat him everywhere for every second of this fight, and that's my plan on Saturday night.
Curious what your thoughts are. He's known for Carlos is known for smoking cigarettes and taking shots. I know that you're really into your health and your diet and things like that. What are your thoughts on Carlos smoking cigarettes? Do you think it affects his cardio?
Look, the dude smokes American cigarettes, drinks Irish whiskey. Meanwhile, I'm in Brazil having Guaraná, açaí, and paçoquita. I'm more Brazilian than this guy is. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not only this, I've got his whole country wanting me to win. And I think that's just, look, that's his life choices. That's nothing for me to get involved in. Do you know what I mean? He can do whatever he wants with his life, and we can all sit here and talk about it. At the end of the day, Saturday night, he's going to step into that octagon with someone who's a complete professional. I'm going to manhandle him any way, shape, and form I want. I will manipulate him, and there's nothing he can do to stop me.
I remember after your fight against Daniel Rodriguez, you guys ended up hanging out a little bit in Miami, I think. I forget where it was, but you guys became very good friends. I know that he was helping you a little bit in this camp. You reached out to him to help sort of emulate a southpaw, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Dude, he helped me for Jeff Neal. He came and was in my corner.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I think about fighting. When you share the octagon with another man, and you go out there and you prepare yourself to go out there and become victorious, regardless of what happened, when that cage door opens after the fight, there's nothing but respect. Carlos is someone that, like, I love Brazil. Brazil has a very special part in my heart. You know what I mean? I'm here representing Shoot the Box, and everything that team means to me, I love. But I also want to see all the Brazilians do well. I love Brazil. It has a very special part in my soul, in my heart. I'm very proud to carry the Machado name, carry my wife's family name. So for me, I would love to see all the Brazilians do well. So after this fight, if he ever needs my help, then I'm in. Because I want to see them all win. But I just don't want to see them do better than me.
I mentioned you hanging out with D-Rod after the fight. Would you see yourself maybe potentially having an after-fight cigarette with Carlos Prates?
I don't smoke.
Okay.
I don't smoke, so I won't. But I tell you what, we can sit down and chat about how I knocked him out, and I can teach him how to get a little bit better.
Last one from me. Just curious about your thoughts on the fight nerds and just sort of how they've sort of taken over MMA or become very popular over the past 5-6 months.
I love them.
Yeah.
I absolutely love them. I think what they're doing is phenomenal. The confidence, the attitude in the way they fight, I think it's amazing. And it takes a special type of tension or personality like Jean in the last fight to be able to point at someone mid-fight, talk to them mid-fight, and then go out there and just completely annihilate them. I think they're amazing. I think they're a team that are doing very well, and I'm excited to see them unfold, and I'm excited to see how they go. My favorite is Rufi. That guy's style is absolutely beautiful. I've said it once, I'll say it again. It reminds me of an OG Conor McGregor, the old school, and I think they're a team that's doing very well, but Saturday night, I'm going to end their undefeated streak.
Sorry, one more. What do you think a win does for you just in terms of like the eyes of the fans? Because it does seem like fans have sort of started to like warm up to you over the past year just from all the fights you've taken. With a win, do you feel like what do you think that does for you?
When I win on Saturday night and I put on the show I'm going to put on against Carlos Prates and I finish him, there is no other option. I am next. You take these fights on short notice, you show up, you save the card, that means I'm next. And if anyone has a problem, guess what? I love to fight. When I win that belt, you can come see me in that octagon.
Just a quick question. What would you like to say to all the fans that they are coming on Saturday night to watch the fight?
On Saturday night, everyone who's paid money to sit in that arena and everyone who tunes in at home and watches live is going to see one of the greatest athletes the UFC has seen in a long, long time. I'm going to go out there and show why I'm the future of this organization, and I'm going to do it against one of their favorite fighters. I'm going to dismantle him. I'm going to show that I'm just better in every single way, shape, and form, and I'm going to make it look easy.
Thank you.
Ian, a couple of questions. First one, you've talked about Carlos quitting mid-fight before, so it got me curious. On Saturday, is your game plan in an ideal world? Would you love to go out and get like a quick knockout, or would you really want to drag him into deeper waters and, potentially simultaneously finish him, but then also prove that point as well?
Sorry, I hear my coach just say yes in the background. For me, there's two ways I like it, right? If I go out and I knock him out in 20 seconds, he has mental excuses. It was just he landed that one shot. I love fights. You ever watch GSP, Josh Koscheck? And everyone's like, Josh Koscheck is the best wrestler we've ever seen. And what happened? GSP went out and dominated him. Josh Koscheck has no excuses in that fight. I love a fight where I go out start to finish and I dominate. And there's no way Carlos Prates can sit at home and go to bed and go and say anything else but Ian Machado Garry is just better in every single way, shape, and form.
Another question. You talk about wanting to be active. I mean, you accept pretty much any fight that comes to you. So hypothetically, if you get through Saturday night with a win, would you be at all interested if something were to pop up last minute to take the call in a couple of weeks and fight for the belt? Or would you need a little bit more time to turn around and potentially get that opportunity?
What if I told you my flights were already booked? I'm ready. I'm always ready. I'm born to fight. It's what I do, mate.
And last one for me, as somebody who studies the game like you do, I'm just curious to get your thoughts on Sean Brady's performance, with his fight with Leon Edwards. I know that, the Leon Edwards fight was the one that you wanted for a while. So would Sean Brady be somebody you'd be interested in fighting in the future? And overall, just what do you think of his performance?
I think he looked great. I think he did exactly what he needed to do. I think he's seen what Bilal did against Leon and went, that's the perfect way to beat him. He went out and he dominated him from start to finish and he made Leon look like a child. I think that's a performance he should be very proud of, but if he ever steps into the octagon with me, I'll knee him in the face and I'll reconstruct his nose.
Good luck on Saturday.
Appreciate you.
Hello, sir. And first of all, nice to meet you again. And it will be nice to hear Eric Clapton once again on Saturday night. I hope it will be.
It will be. Don't you worry.
That's
that
great.
song's never changing. There's too much love for that woman in my life. And when I hear that Layla song, it makes me think of that. So I'll always fight.
One of my favorite. So, speaking of the UFC, your only bonus for the performance of the night was at the only fight night. Carlos Prates has 4 fights in the UFC and 4 performances of the night bonuses. So, should we expect the best fight of 2025 so far?
Define the best. If you want to talk about a one-sided mauling, then yes. But I don't think he's going to have much to offer for me. He'll be up here, he'll sit here confidently, and he'll say whatever he wants to say, and he should say it, because he is riding a 10-fight knockout streak. Shavkat was 18-0 with 18 finishes. How did that fight go? I think he left that octagon feeling a lot less of a man than he was beforehand. I'm telling you now, on Saturday night against Carlos Prates, look, this guy might have 4 bonuses against 4 nobodies. I've got more wins in the top 15 than he does in the fights in the UFC. I'm a different animal. I fight. It's what I do. I love this. And on Saturday night, I'm going to prove to Carlos and everyone watching that I am simply better.
And one more for me. There are now lots of rumors that Islam Makhachev wants to go up to your division.
He's so good. He's so good.
Are you looking forward to face him?
I've said this, right? So I believe Bilal's going to win in Canada against Jack Della Maddalena if they fight. And I believe Jack is just going to get swallowed. I think Bilal has everything to beat him. And then I know there's team complications, or Bilal doesn't want to fight Islam because of the training and stuff like that. So then I fight Bilal, I beat Bilal, and then there's a choice. Do I defend against the pound-for-pound number 1 and Islam Makhachev and welcome him up to the welterweight division, or do I fight Shavkat Rakhmonov after he comes off the injury that I prevented him from fighting for the belt right now? I have nothing but love and respect as a fighter and a fight fan for Islam Makhachev. I think he's phenomenal, and there is a reason why that man is number 1 in the world. If he wants to come up and I have that belt, it would be an absolute honor to share the octagon with him and prove to myself and the world the talents that I have. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's amazing. I think it would be an incredibly tough fight because he's amazing everywhere. But I believe both me and Islam show the new evolution of MMA fighters. You can't be good in one area. You have to be great in every area. And that's what I believe me and Islam are. So if that fight's ever on the cards, then out of respect for that man and everything that he's done, it would be an honor. It would be an honor to share the octagon with him.
And very last one from me. You said that if you win, you want to be next for the title. But if Della Maddalena win, it's obviously that Islam Makhachev will be next for the title. So does that mean that you will cheer Bilal in Montreal?
Well, it's not that I'm going to cheer for Bilal. I just think he's going to win. I think he has. I've seen Jack Della Maddalena being ragdolled by people that aren't as good as that game as Bilal. So I think it's a perfect stylistic fight for Bilal. But to your point, if Jack wins and Islam Makhachev comes up, then every single person in the welterweight division can sit the fuck down and give that man the respect he deserves. Does that make sense? He's the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. What you do is you sit down, you shut your mouth, and you say, okay, you're next.
So you're good with that?
100%. I give that man respect, and I'll just tell him that I'm next. Does that make sense? When he fights, I'll fight him afterwards. But I'll give him the respect he deserves, and I believe everybody else in the top 15 should do the same.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Enjoy the show. Go ahead.
Sorry, this just popped up yesterday, actually. Conor McGregor put out a tweet to Michael Chandler about, that basically implying, that we have unfinished business. Then Michael Chandler responded. Just curious, as a fellow Irishman, do you think that he is trolling Michael Chandler at this point, or do you think that he actually does want to come back and fight? What are your thoughts?
I think he's the best in the world at getting people to talk about him. And no matter what he does, we're always going to talk about him.
Just like my company did. Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
Good afternoon, Carlos. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Obviously, it's a huge fight. It's a main event. Just curious, how you feel about what does this fight do for you? If you win, do you feel like you are next in line for a title shot?
Yeah, I'm really excited with this fight. The second main event in a row, and it's gonna be a big fight for me, and I think after beating Ian Garry, I'm gonna be really close of the fight for the title.
You know, I remember this is kind of a stupid question, but after Ian Garry's fight with Daniel Rodriguez, I believe that they sort of became friends. They hung out a little bit. You guys have sort of had a little bit of like a back and forth on social media over the past week. Do you feel like is there beef between you two? Like, is this personal for you, or is this just business?
No, it's just business. It is what it is. We're gonna step on the cage, try to kill each other, but for me, it's just business. What we talk before the fight, all the trash talking. For me, it's okay. It's part of the game. But stepping there is just business. No emotions, no love, no hate, no anything. Just business.
You responded to a social media video of him where he brought up an old fight of yours, and he in his post he called you a quitter. What was your reaction when you heard him say that?
Any reaction, because it was like a really bad situation. It was the time I was going to China every month, like fighting maybe 1, 2, 3 times, without any coach, like fighting alone. Eat just 1 time per day to cut weight. Was really cold there, sleeping on the ground. So it's the kind of situation he never passed before, but is experience, if I'm able to be here today, is because I passed a lot of bad situations like that, and about to be fighter or not, like he said, I'm here, 4 bonus on the road, 2 main events, knocking people out, just 1 year in UFC. He had 4 years in UFC, never did the main event before, just 1 bonus. So I have not much to talk, just to show.
One more from me. After the fight, do you see that maybe you and Ian would potentially have a cigarette together as like a, you guys would be friends with after the fight?
If he wants, for me it's okay, Yeah. He looks like the guy is not kind of guy who smokes cigarettes, but... Yeah. If you want, I have many to bring to him.
There you go. Sorry, actually, one more. We actually did an interview with Caio Baralho, who said that he believes he's going to be the first fighting nerd to get a UFC championship belt. Do you dispute that? Do you think you'll be first, or do you? Is there a friendly competition for it?
Man, I think Caio gonna be the first one. I don't know. It depends the next weeks, if he gonna fight or not. But if I should bet money on who gonna be champ first, I think I'm gonna bet my money on Caio.
He said all 4 of you guys at the same time. Are you, Jean, Rufi, and Caio, are you going to hold a belt at the same time? Do you think that's going to happen?
I think so. Because we 4, all the guys can become champ, like just 1 more fight, and then we can fight for the belt, Like Caio can fight for the belt any moment, Yeah. I think for me, like it depends the way I beat Ian Garry, the next fight can be for the belt also. Rufi, just 1 more fight is, I don't know, maybe he fight Johnson Gage or somebody like that, really make a really good performance. Also, he can go to the belt. And also Jean, just 1 fight and then can go. It depends how good it will be our next performance. But it's really possible.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Carlos, this way. How do you feel mentally and physically heading to this fight?
I feel 100%. Last year I fought many times. Now I got a little break, to take care about my healthy, my physically, mentally. I spend a lot of money on the gym, get a little bit more stronger. So 26 April, you guys gonna see the best version of Carlos Prates.
Thank you.
Carlos, just a couple of quick ones. You got to show off your baseball skills last night. What was that like, throwing the first pitch? Because there's been a few UFC fighters that have thrown a first pitch, and I think Derek Lewis might have had one of the worst ones we've ever seen, but yours has got to be up there with the top ones.
It was really nice. I was really nervous before because I don't want to do like Derek Lewis, Conor McGregor. They did like a really bad first speech, But it was really nice. A huge honor for me. To be honest, I think fighting is more easier than baseball, but it was really nice.
And then obviously like the main event this weekend, banger fight, headliner. But what was your initial reaction when you had heard that Jeff Neal had gotten injured? Because I feel like that was another fan favorite fight as well.
Bro, it was like a mix of emotions, because my manager Lucas come to me and say, hey, he called me. And now every time when he called me, it's like something like really big, like really, really important. And the first time I took, like, I was thinking like, somebody happened with my fight. And then he come and say, hey, Jeff Neal got injury. But they said they have something big for you, Like if you don't fight any opponent, to fight 314 in Miami, they're gonna have something big for you. And I was like, it was like mix of like angry, worry about, and something like really excited to know what they're gonna bring for me.
Hey, Carlos, over here. So when you got the news that Jeff Neal was out, did you stop training at all, or did you just keep going, just assuming that you were going to get
No, in my mind, I was like, keep training because I was like, no, I'm gonna fight in Miami anyway. They're gonna find somebody, and also on the same day they said like Jamal Hill and Khalil Humphrey don't happen, And I was like, or I'm gonna fight Miami, or I'm gonna do a main event in Kansas City.
So is there no hesitation at all on your end in taking the main event? Obviously you're training 3 rounds for Jeff Neal. Now you're 5 rounds.
No. I always come to the gym and train 5 rounds. Having my fight gonna be 3 rounds every time I come to the gym, and I train for 5 rounds.
And then in terms of this fight compared to, obviously, Jeff, did you have to change a whole lot about what your game plan was, or are you more focusing on what you can do?
Yeah. To be honest, I think that fight, like if fight against Jeff Neal, would be more dangerous, and fight with Ian Garry is less dangerous, but hardest fight to win, The way to win the fight is a little bit harder, but I didn't change a lot of things. Just changed my training partners, sparring. The guys to do like the game of Ian Garry, because he's a little bit taller than Jeff Neal, and also he's orthodox. He's not southpaw, but it's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Carlos here. So, what do you think about Kansas City? How are you feeling here in the city?
It's my first time here. It's my first time here in Kansas. I was on the center of the city. Was like a little bit quiet, not like a lot of people on the street and things like that. But I enjoy my time here. I'm really excited to eat barbecue here. They say barbecue in Kansas is really nice. But I enjoy the time here. Meet people. I make a new friend, Randy. He's now part of the team. I enjoy the time here. It's really nice.
So, of course, you expect a win on Saturday, no
Yeah.
question. So, after that, what is your expectation? What comes next?
It depends how the fight ends. I think if you end after 5 rounds by points, I would be really close of the title shot, but probably make one more fight, against Sean Brady, or the loser between Belal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena. But I think if I beat him like I want, like a knockout on the 30 round, I would be the next for the title. Nobody knock him out, nobody finish him. So Shavkat is the next in the line, but he did 5 rounds with Ian Garry. So I think if I beat him like really bad, I would be the next.
So, have you prepared to knock out him, or you are expecting like a long fight? Or
I prepare for everything, bro. I prepare for step on the cage, since the first round, try to kill him, try to knock him out. That's my game plan. All the fights, defense, takedown, and knock my opponent out.
Carlos, bom dia. You have 4 fights in the UFC, and 4 times you got a bonus of the performance of the night. So, first of all, should we expect for you another 50K performance? And is it the goal to continue this run with bonuses?
Yeah, you know, all the time I talk with my friends, like the first fight in UFC, I fought, and I was like, I don't gonna get bonus, you know, like me, Carlos, why? No, I don't gonna get bonus, and then I got the bonus. And then after that, when I saw the money come to my bank account, I was like, man, I have to get the bonus of the fight, you know. And my second fight, after the fight, I knew already I would get the bonus. The third fight, I was like, nah, I got the bonus already. For sure, I'm going to get the bonus. On my last fight also, I said, no way. I for sure, they're going to get me bonus. And I'm going to fight Ian Garry. And guess what? I'm going to make the bonus again.
Wish you luck. And a question about your teammate, Caio Borralho, wants to fight Khamzat Chimaev on the International Fight Week. What do you think are his chances?
Bro, to be honest, you know, Caio, I think is the most hardest fight to Chimaev, you know. We know Chimaev have a good pressure, good wrestling, you know, but all the time sick, all the time cancel the fight, all the time, you know. Of course, it was really good fight against Robert Whittaker, you know. Was like really crazy to see how he finished the fight, you know, but he needs to go to the ground to finish the fight. And go to the ground with Caio is not a good idea, you know. They have a really good jiu-jitsu, you know. And I know that the game plan to fight comes out. I think during the beginning of the fight, it's going to be hard, you know. It's going to be hard. But after he see Caio not give the back to him, doing some guard, and then get up and really nice strike, it's going to be hard, you know. Of course, everybody say, Chimaev is good wrestling, but it's MMA, 5 rounds against Caio. It's hard.
So what's better, Russian wrestling or Brazilian BJJ?
If fight against Caio and Chimaev for 5 rounds, I'm going to bet on Brazilian BJJ.
Obrigado.
Thank you.